think even though I'm going grey now, that's another layer to the experience, because it's growing white out of my hair, or my hair is turning white out of my head, and it's, or it's going grey, which is an interesting new thing, I think, because people have a relationship, and people have a reaction, not relationship, a reaction to grey hair. I think, and that's another thing, because I think people are almost a bit like, ooh, I'd dye it if I were you, ooh. And
why do you think that is?
Oh, because I just think
there's an insecurity or insecurities there.
Yeah, I think with aging, I don't think people have a problem with women aging and showing that they're getting old.
Correct.
We have a problem with aging and accepting aging. That it's not going to be cured overnight, but people have a problem with it, and so we do. And I think women everywhere that are involved in trying to look their best, and there's a line between looking your best and also trying to disguise your age. You know what I mean? It's very muddled, those two things. And I feel I've decided to not dye my hair, purely because I remember my grandma having to dye her hair, and it just being like it was almost like two steps, two grades, with two obvious lines of white and black constantly, as she was waiting between dyeing it, until she accepted that she was just going to go all grey, and it looked beautiful white. And I have a very I've decided to embrace that. I've made a decision to let it just be and not dye it. And it's it's not an easy decision, because sometimes it just really annoys me, and I feel greyer than it makes me feel old. I do have times when I feel that, definitely. And I think that's just me, I have at least once a month, maybe it's just my hormones around the time that my period's due. But generally it makes me feel a bit like, oh, I look old and aging. But for the most part, I'm very happy. Yeah. And I've embraced and my natural hair. It's going grey, and I'm just about looking my best in my natural form, really, I suppose.
Which I think is amazing.
And that's fine. I think there are other ways to sort of expand and extend my, how I look. You know what I mean? I'm always of the belief that I want to look well, my very best, without anything, makeup less, anything additional to me. I want it in my natural, raw state to be absolutely at my best. I want to be able to look good in that state. Yeah. So I think.
Well, you definitely inspire me in that way.
Oh, thanks.
But can I ask you, when did you decide to go natural? Can you remember what tipped you over the edge? Because you said it was a journey. It wasn't just one thing.
Yeah, it was just a journey. I think.
What was it that made you kind of go?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a specific. I mean, I think obviously we'd had Office, and we'd had him, and I don't know. I think there was I was starting to see there was more stuff out there. There were a few people on YouTube, a few situations where I just felt a little bit like this whole relaxing thing. I'm over it. And I feel a bit over it. It's tiring. It's just, it's so tiring to every 6 to 8 weeks. And I've got I've got this baby now, and So
was it a convenience thing then?
Yeah, there's a bit of that in there too. But also I think I just wanted to.
When you were watching them videos and reading the things you were reading, did you feel like you wanted to kind of, I don't know how to put this. When I read a book called Denim Dudes, right, and it kind of liberated me, because I feel comfortable when I'm wearing a certain type of clothing, but I was wearing lots of different types of clothing, and when I read that book and saw the people in the book, I could identify with them.
So you kind of found your tribe?
Kind of, but they're not my tribe, you know what I mean?
In terms
because,
of,
you meet these people, they're often a disappointment, but I kind of felt like, okay, so you can do that.
Oh yeah, you found something
and it's
that you
okay,
look,
and you know, there are other people doing it, and it's inspiring.
And they're doing it well.
They're doing it well, and this is how it can look if you get it right, and this is how it feels. You know, like I like wearing jeans and t-shirts, and you know, a certain style of jacket and a certain style of footwear, and I wear those things all the time now.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that, and wearing these kinds of clothes makes me feel confident and comfortable in myself as a person.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just, you know, it's standard. So did you sort of go through a similar thing, or, I mean, how would you describe, you know, you made a decision, and it was, you know, it was black and white, and, you know, you made a decision, you never went back to, you know, extensions.
Yeah, and relaxing my hair.
So what was it for you?
Yeah, so I think prior to the film, okay, let's use the film Good Hair.
Yeah, I remember you coming home from that and just being like,
on fire.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think before the film, you know, before the film, it was just, I started to watch a few videos. I was starting to find, you know, seeing people's hair journey. I was starting to see what was possible. Knowledge is a powerful thing, and you know, if you're not exposed or you don't have any kind of awareness as to what can be done and what is possible, you stay in your lane. You just stay in your lane.
Yeah, sure.
And you know, I just think that knowledge is power, and with that, you just, you know, it's like, you know, I was exposed for the first time to people after a lifetime. You know, I was what, 40 at that point, or whatever age I was in my late 30s. You know, to spend nearly, you know, 30 odd years just not taking care of a part of myself, to taking care of myself, and I'm just like, oh my God, I've never done this, or I've never known this, or oh my Lord, I didn't. And there was a lot of, it was like being woke, you know what I mean? People talk about being woke, but I felt like it was an awakening of finding out about what worked, what was possible, and it wasn't a chore. People were actually enjoying their hair, enjoying the process, and you know, I thought, and that was building before the film. I saw the film and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go through it as well. You know, it was building in me. I've got to do something. I can't just keep at this relaxing lark. And then from the film as well, I decided, okay, cool, now I know, and let me find out more, and it's grown from there really. So it's you know, I just think it's, you know, I've seen the beauty in it, I've seen the, you know, the joy of it, and it's also empowering. I just think it's beautiful to see black women owning their own hair, you know, embracing their own natural hair. I think if you own, I mean, I see black women in braids and they're owning their own hair and they're rocking it. In my perspective, I think that's a vibe too. But I do think it's lovely to see young girls, you know, young girls having natural hair, and schoolgirls having, I mean, it's beautiful. I love it. I love to see schoolgirls with their natural hair.
Yeah.
Froze.
It's quite powerful actually.
Oh, it's powerful. It says something.
Yeah.
It says that we are not just trying to blend in, assimilate. We are different. We embrace all that makes us different. We don't just embrace. We don't just abide it. We enjoy it. We celebrate it.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, someone younger than me, and especially in your sort of very delicate teenage years where you're so conscious of everything, to see young people, you know, young black men rocking afros, big afros, small afros, fros, seeing young girls rocking natural hair and braids and, you know, fros and twists and buns and all in natural styles. I just think it's saying something. It shows that there's a shift really in terms of what is acceptable, beautiful, and again it reflects back out, you know, because again you know, in terms of the media, in terms of what's out there, you're seeing that reflected back at, you know, with models and TV stars and programs, and it's becoming more normal,
which is, you know, it's great.
It's powerful.
It's great because I think, you know, there has been a lot of conformity taking place. I mean, we live in a, you know, this is not a black man's country.
No, not by any stretch.
And I think, you know, it's quite striking when you see people, especially in a city like Manchester, you know, they're kind of, how can I put this? You know, they're taking control and ownership and responsibility and of their identity.
Absolutely. And I think
and you know, when you see people doing that in groups, like, you know, you're driving down the road and there's 15 black girls at a bus stop, schoolgirls at a bus stop, and their hair is all natural. I mean, I don't remember seeing anything like that when I was in school.
No, exactly. I think, you know, you wouldn't have seen anything like that.
It's you know, it might not be a big thing to some.
In some circles, it shows that there is a shift.
There's a confidence. I think, like, there's a confidence there which I think has been lacking, which is great to see. There's a resurgence of confidence.
Absolutely, I think that there is a real, there is a shift. There's a whole shift in a perception of the way that we see ourselves that's changing and expressing ourselves. And, you know, I mean, we live in an age where, you know, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but, you know, we think of Black Panther. You know, I mean, I was just reading about it and just how the person who was involved in the film, from what I remember reading the article, insisted that the black stars come in their hair with their hair natural. You know what I mean? And it's really, I mean, I haven't seen the film yet, and I'm gonna, but it just really, you know, I mean, it's an incredible thing. You know, it's a black director, it's a stellar A-list black cast, you know, and it's a film, you know, really just, I suppose, glorifying and celebrating black power, you know, and black. Yeah, I mean, for want of a better word, you know, I haven't even seen it yet, but from what from all the talk and the chatter and the articles and the reviews, and the people are just like, whoa, I want to look like her and I want to look like him, and he's so beautiful, and it's just think, you know, black people haven't always had that.
Sure.
And I want a generation of black women and young girls and tiny children to grow up and look at natural hair as beautiful.
Yeah,
and that's happening slowly. We're not there yet. We're definitely not there yet, but we're moving in that direction.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's starting to filter down to the young, and then we'll get to the very younger, whereas, you know, where people, it will just be like, wow, of course, I wouldn't be anything other than natural.
Yeah, sure.
And if you don't choose natural, there's no, you know, that's also your thing. You know, there's an element of choice, not looking